Well, you didn't you didn't miss much. I just did my intro. And so I'll introduce Rebecca Chauncey from the SBDC at Build Bronzeville.
Good evening, everyone. As AJ said, I'm Rebecca Chauncey, Interim Director at the Illinois SBDC at Bill Bronzeville, or the Small Business Development Center at Bill Bronzeville. So we're your one-stop shop for one-on-one confidential advising. We also provide training and technical assistance. We work with small business owners on things that include business infrastructure, so like licensing and what you'll need to ensure that you have your business legal entity in order. We can work with you on marketing plans, financial assessment, planning, assistance with certifications, a connection to professional service providers like attorneys, accountants, and other financial resources. And we certainly work with business owners on business licensing and permits. So you can, if you're interested in signing up to become a client so that you can receive those services at no cost, by the way, I'm going to drop that link in the chat. So that's buildbronzeville.com/SBDC. When you go to that page, click on Become a Client and follow all 6 steps to become a client. And then once you do that, we'll receive a notification on our end and reach out to you within 5 business days to set up your first advising session.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate it. All right. And you dropped that. You okay, I see you put it in chat.
Yes.
Please make sure you all sign up if you're not already a member of the SBDC. They have amazing resources and they're free. Just want to reiterate that.
No cost. No
No
cost.
cost. There you
Term
go.
we
No
use.
cost to you because somebody has to pay that cost, but you don't. So
Yes.
that is facts.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. I appreciate you. So next I'll bring up Bernard Lloyd, who is the founder of Urban Juncture, but I'll let him do his part.
Great. Thank you, AJ. I'm Bernard Lloyd. I was a management consultant at McKinsey and Company and left that work 20 years ago, a little bit more than 20 years ago, to start Urban Juncture and what has now become Build Bronzeville. Build Bronzeville includes 5 complementary initiatives that work together to revitalize our community. Bronzeville Cooking, our culinary initiative, the Forum, our historic building at 43rd and the Green Line, Engage Bronzeville, our engagement and partnership effort, the Bronzeville Incubator, which includes the SBDC, our business support organization, and of course, Boxville. My role today is to provide you some background on Boxville and on Build Bronzeville, and to help you to understand how engaging with Boxville can help you step up your startup as you try to move it forward. Before I dive into that, let me just give you a quick sense of what the agenda for the evening is. We started off with Rebecca Chauncey from the SBDC because that's a key set of services that we think many of you will benefit from. I'm going to give some background about Boxville and Bill Bronzeville. I will be followed by AJ coming back to talk about what our plans are for this summer specifically and the opportunities for the summer. And then we'll have Will Jemison, one of the longest term business owner at Boxville, describe a bit his path at Boxville to give you an example of what it feels like and what it looks like to be a successful Boxville business. That will be followed by a short overview of what the pitch competition incentives and benefits are. Why should you participate in this pitch competition? And we'll close with some application and process and pitch process step walkthrough by AJ, and at that point we'll open up to your questions, and we'll try to answer as many as we can. So that's our agenda. Uh, so background for Boxville. So we brought our first box to 51st and the L in 2014, after we had invested time and effort engaging our neighbors around bike rides and bike repair, and discovering that there was a big unmet need for bike repair, but realizing that we just didn't have the capital required to establish a bike shop in a conventional brick and mortar space. So the image that you see is the bike box. It's our very first 20-foot container at 51st and the L. And the result of our deciding to acquire, design, and refurbish a container rather than a brick and mortar store. The team you see here is our team. We had some partners from IIT. Alder Pat Dowell also came out, and this was the launch of what became Boxville on June 15, 2014. Next slide, please. Now, we learned a lot operating the bike box for its first 3 seasons. We saw how folks were attracted to shipping containers, and we recognized the value of creating highly affordable commercial spaces at a transit hub in Bronzeville, in the middle of a retail corridor. We recognize that a box-based enterprise can focus the vast majority of its resources on developing the concept and offering and acquiring customers rather than on the physical infrastructure. So, next slide, please. Actually, stay on this slide, I'm sorry. So in 2017, we added several boxes to that site. We inserted all of the learning. We poured everything we had learned from operating the bike box, the colors, shading, activations, etc. Brought in more partners and officially launched Boxville. At the end of that season, we had already run out of space. And so we added 8 more containers in 2018 to establish what we then called the neighborhood square. We also, for the first time, insulated and electrified our boxes. So now folks were able to work in these boxes throughout the season. In 2019, recognizing the need for storage, we added several storage boxes. And then in the last big expansion, in the last 2 or 3 years, we added a fitness box in the back section of Boxville. And just this past year, we added we finished what we call Cook's Corner, which is 5 spaces, 5 micro spaces within that quadrant of Boxville that provides professional ventilation, official cooking ventilation for culinary enterprises in Boxville. Next slide, please. So this slide shows how this operates within the broader Build Bronzeville context. You have on the horizontal, that's 51st Street. The green is the elevated train. You have Boxville at the top right of that, and various things happening within Boxville. Catty corner from Boxville on the southeast corner of 51st and Calumet, you have Bronzeville Community Garden, and there's activities happening at the garden. Then if you move left or to the west on the other side of the train, you have our building. This is our culinary facility that also includes the Bronzeville Incubator and the Small Business Development Center at Build Bronzeville. And we currently have 2 restaurant spaces. We have a rooftop deck, we have a rooftop farm, and some other activities in that building. So our goal with this is to work with our partners, particularly at Boxville, to activate this whole area, 51st and the L, and bring patron to us. Next slide, please. This slide shows what a typical Boxville market looks like. We have Boxville markets every other Wednesday, typically from 4 to 7 p.m. And this shows you the various boxes we have. And for that particular market, who was in those boxes? We had about a dozen in-box enterprises, a DJ to really help activate the space, a bouncy house towards the back to invite kids. This was our food and family fun market. And another half dozen pop-up vendors selling off tables in front and between these boxes. And I forget the exact numbers, but I believe we got around 200 patrons coming to this market with most of the activity at Boxville, but also activity happening across the street in the garden and at the incubator, which the incubator, At Boxville right now, we have electric power, and of course, we're insulated and we have boxes, but we do not have other utilities. We do not have water, and therefore we don't have restrooms. And so the incubator is a space that provides those utilities, as well as additional space for meetings and in some cases events for our Boxville partners. At the heart of this, however, is the products and services and the entrepreneurial energy that our partners provide. And that is what we want you to consider joining, to be the heart of this effort to bring enterprise to 51st Street, to build those enterprises, and to rebuild our community.
Well said. Thank you, Bernard. I threw this in here. I know we didn't speak. I don't know if you want to speak to our space options or I can
Sure.
go.
Sure. So we have several space options at this point, actually, in what we call the step forward mode, which is a dedicated space for your enterprise. We have 4 space options. One is a 10-foot box. We call it a micro box. Typically, that's half of a 20-foot box, and we have several of those. I'll come back to the 13-foot in a moment. We have a 20-foot box, which typically is either, so boxes come in 20 and 40-foot sizes. We count a 40-foot box as 2 20s. So we have some 20-foot boxes that are an entire 20-foot box or a 20-foot space that's half of a 40-foot space. So we have some of that available. And we may have a 40-foot space available as well for your enterprise. In addition to that, the 13-foot space is our newer space. We have 3 of them available. We have 3 of them exist. 2 of them are currently occupied, and they are the boxes that have culinary ventilation. They have full black iron, as they call it, ventilation for kitchen uses. And so those boxes are available for a 12-month dedicated sole occupancy lease. In addition to that, we're going to have a small number of opportunities that we call step by step, where we're inviting a limited number of folks to share a micro box, a 10-foot box, on a rotating basis every week. So typically, that would mean that you have Enterprise A that has that box for 3 days of the week, and Enterprise B that has it for another 3 days of the week with a day of changeover and so forth. The objective of that is to give folks another way of experiencing Boxville and building their enterprise without necessarily making a 12-month commitment. As we will discuss, a 12-month commitment is a very serious commitment to your enterprise and to Boxville. This is not I'm renting a box and I show up when I want to show up. It is I'm renting a box. I am there every week, 5-6 days a week, to build my enterprise and to contribute to Boxville. Step by step is a much kind of lighter introduction to launching your enterprise at Boxville.
Awesome. Thank you, Bernard. So I will touch on our summer markets. A few of you that are in here are probably familiar and may have even been your first introduction to Boxville, which is awesome. We take great pride in our markets. The markets is essentially really was an anchor in the beginning of Boxville starting up. And it's been a tradition that we've kept up with year after year. So here are some tentative dates as we're still working through our schedule and just locking in certain partnerships and actual themes for these dates. But just to kind of give an idea, we always open around June 18th. June 19th is the idea that we kick it off with Juneteenth. And this year, because it's every other Wednesday, it's bi-weekly on a Wednesday. That date falls on the 18th. So that'll be the day that we kick things off this year. And ideally, if you a opening or a soft launch date for yourselves or those that make it to have a space in Boxville. So a great opportunity there. In July, we have every month we have about 2 to 3 markets, depending just on how the dates fall. But we like to do a culinary market, which typically in the past we've done Battle of the Tacos, we've done a grill off, we've done a Jollof battle. Last year we did Battle of the Wings. That was a really big hit. So more than likely we'll be bringing Battle of the Wings back. Chef Prep is on here. He was our winner of last year's Battle of the Wings. He might have some competition this year. We don't know. And then William, who is also on this call, he leads the Hidden Gems Thrift Market as well as the Trendsetters Block Party. So the idea is that Boxville partners are involved in helping us create this landscape and these themes and cultivating and creating our markets as well. We want to make sure you're just as involved with what this looks like and feels like as well. So if you have some ideas or things like that that can add to these markets, we love to hear them. We typically, and we can get into this a little later, talk through a lot of this in our huddles. But I won't be long-winded on this, and I'll also send a follow-up email, so a lot of this information will be included. I do want to speak on one of our largest markets, which is Open House Chicago. I think this year will be, what is our 7th year, maybe, Bernard, or something like that? About our 7th year doing Open House Chicago. It's a 2-day event. It's Saturday and Sunday, the 18th and the 19th of this year in October. And what it is it's through the Chicago Architectural Center, and we're probably one location out of maybe 300 to 500 other locations all over the city, and it's based off of historical and architectural uniqueness of that location. And obviously Boxville has a unique offer of being a shipping container mall, and so we get, I would say, during that weekend, maybe 800 to 1,000 people combined both days. We will expand the activations. We have a stage with live music, and we really look to, and we bring in a lot of our vendors. We do a lot of different activations just to keep people engaged, tell the history of Boxville. We really to go that, people make money, people come out to see Boxville, but the whole point is that we have people in here that are small business and entrepreneurs, and we want to make sure that you all benefit from that. So this is kind of a rough schedule, and just some highlights of some of our key markets that are coming up. I think. Will, are you ready?
Yes, can you all hear me?
Yes, I can
Hello?
hear you.
Okay, awesome. Hey, good evening, everyone. I am extremely grateful to be here today. My name is Will, and I am an entrepreneur and professional creative. I like to use professional creative because my business and compensation is literally in direct proportion to how I use my creativity to serve the people and the community. And from being a founding member here at Boxville, I want to say this is my 5th year. I've been able to utilize my creativity and explore so many different ideas, and a lot of my creativity and a lot of my business models have stemmed from printable apparel. So I started off in 2018 as a pop-up brand, just showcasing my urban apparel because I have my own clothing line, and then it transpired into what is called the Work Spot, or what was called the Work Spot, which was a print apparel company, which was me and my partners servicing the community and teaching other and providing print options for other small businesses and brands. And then now I have elevated into what is called the Maker Lab, which is actually a apparel incubator, which is me now teaching the concept of how to start to finish your brand with utilizing the resources of print apparel. I can't see the slides, but I'm assuming we are on the Success at Boxville slide. And so if you guys are seeing this here, this really lists a lot of the top brands that were circulating through Boxville. And I want to say that before I start getting into more so the success, I want to really bring up that Boxville is really an opportunity, and it's an open shell. So like, it's exactly what you make of it. We as the businesses, we're the soul. Imagine Boxville as like the body. It offers us, space, that we can occupy, gives us, the opportunity to advance and use as a startup. But it comes from us, the businesses, to commune together, work as a unit, and really thrive and create like a soul, a body of work that can really help and service the community. And just from looking at this list here, I have my brand up here, Maker Lab and Work Spot, but Conscious Plates, which was an alkaline vegan restaurant, the Book Joint, which was a Black-owned bookstore, Stovey Ink Creatives, a wellness store, and then the Hot Dog Box, a creative hot dog restaurant. One thing all these businesses had in common, they decided. They literally were full-time entrepreneurs that stuck through all the concepts and the elevation of the brand. So like, as much as we want you to have your idea and, you know, you have things revved up, with entrepreneurship, you have to be ready to pivot and transition. And a lot of this part of the journey is being able to work off the backs of your partnering businesses and seeing the mistakes and learning with each other. And that's what makes Boxville a really cool hub, because you're not in it by yourself. You know, you get to work together as a unit, even though everyone has their own industry and have their own business. We are able to commune together, create really cool markets like AJ just spoke on, and then also learn from each other's mistakes and build with each other. We can move on to pitch eligibility. So I know that I'm not sure if you, for those who are listening, are familiar with the target profile that we have here, but for the most part, you know, for those who are starting and looking, you know, 1 year of business and generating revenue, that's pretty important. You want to already be in business, you know, have already started, have a product, have a service that you've already, you know, serviced people and, you know, creating some type of income. Social media following, business licensing and business insurance. And I will have to attest to the SBDC because upon joining Boxville, they really helped me navigate that space. Want to be available for pitch prep and coaching, and that's just really about being present and being available and being all in, truly making a decision to say that, hey, I'm starting a business. This is not an option of a business. This is actually me stepping into a new lifestyle, and I am seeing this through. And that's what really generates champions and prosperous business owners. We can move on to the next slide. So on this slide, we have 7 main steps that we took away from what we feel like is truly important, and really understanding what it takes to, you know, to really thrive, and not even just in Boxville, but in being an entrepreneur. So one is just having a vision and understanding what strategic planning is, you know, thinking for the long term and not just the seasonal short term. It's an inclusive package. You know, you want to have the mission of what you're doing, but then you also want to have the vision as well, where you're headed. Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
You also want to have yes.
I was going to say, for the sake of time, because I'll probably send this over as well, just so
okay, great.
you can kind of look over it. That way you don't have to go through each step. But I do appreciate you, your willingness and readiness always. But yeah, I'll send this over so you guys can kind of have it with you and really look at it during your you know, separate time. Did you have anything else you wanted to add before I brought on prep?
No, I would just say, like, for those who are looking to, you know, do the Step Your Startup program, I'm excited to meet you all, and I'll be your neighbor. You know, I'll be here on the journey and helping you guys thrive and succeed.
Awesome. Thank you, Will. Appreciate you always. And then you're right, Bernard, in chat, Freestyle started at Boxville as a pop-up table, and then it went into an actual brick and mortar space on 51st and Prairie. And now it is on 71st and South Shore. So, and it also helped to lead our culinary and retail development as well. Oh, I'm sorry. It's now leading. Oh, they bought the building across the street, yes. And I believe they're building that out, a retail and culinary mixed use space. So just another success story. And I see someone had asked a question in chat. I'm going to save all questions to the end, and we're almost done, and then we can answer those questions. Next, I'll bring up Chef Prep. 1 second. This is out of order. There we go. Prep, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, guys. How you guys doing? My name is Chef Prep. I'm a new box owner. I signed on last summer, and who better to tell you about all of the incentives and what makes Boxville lucrative than somebody that made the move that you're thinking about doing as well. So the first one is the cash prize and support business. What I can attest to Boxville, the urban juncture, they are always looking for when it was my season, I benefited off a grant, and this season they're doing a rent abatement, which is like reduced rent. Then they're offering flexibility to establish your presence with some cash value, so you can help get your marketing done, help you get equipment, and so you don't have to have the stress of where's the money coming for when I take this endeavor and I go 10 toes in, you know. So that's always good to have that support, that everything in the beginning isn't on you, because the startup cost to do anything is always on an entrepreneur's mind. So Boxville has spoke to that, as Will had all just previously stated, is the pitch workshops. So the workshops are designed for you to say, hey, I need some help to understand how to make this decision. I need some help to know what steps to take for this and things of that nature, and to uh, utilize the experience of people that are actively doing what you are planning to do. Ongoing Illinois SBDC advising. One, everybody has been saying SBDC the entirety of this Zoom. The reason being is because they are so pivotal, understanding what it takes to be successful in business. So utilize that resource as much as you can. It is free to set up an appointment with Rebecca, and she will give you all of her attention so she can help you in those areas. And whatever she cannot do, she will point you in the right direction, which is always great. Uh, Event space usage. So I know I'm a chef, so I have a couple of events that I knew I wanted to do, but as you know, when you do events, the space is always the issue. Because of Urban Junction and its leading charge in creative space and culinary spaces, we have a lot of areas of where you can host your own event and put your name on the schedule for it. So that ability comes with being a partner, which is takes a whole lot of stress off of your mind when you're talking about securing a location to do any venture. Ongoing support. So the tagline for Boxville is community, culture, commerce. So one thing I like about Boxville over other incubators and ghost kitchens and things of that nature is the community, not just from the team members in the office, but also from the other Boxville box owners. There's times where I might be having a struggle with something, or I might be feeling like, oh man, I'm hitting the wall. And it's good to be able to come to the office to talk and work out a solution to my issues, or talk to fellow owners and be like, you know what, I had a similar situation. This is what I did to resolve that. So you really, in Boxville, you are an individual working on your individual business, but you're doing it right shoulder to shoulder with other people, and we're all about social economic development in the Black and brown communities. And then we spoke on community markets. So the markets are very good. It's going to give your business a wider range of eyes on it, because it's pulling more people, more foot traffic to the space than usual. So these are things that help elevate your business. And my last remark is all of these incentives sound good, but the one thing that I really want you to get fall in love with is the community aspect, because then that leads you to a culture of success. So the community here is, hey man, just be present, come around and talk. Don't be shy. If you struggling with something, do so. And Boxville gives you the environment where it's an incubator. So it is designed for you to have some missteps, some failures, but be supported in that, and so that you can see it to the next step. So I'm not gonna be long winded. Just wanted to give you a bit of incentives and inward look on the space.
Thank you, Prep. That was awesome. And so I will switch screens. I'm just going to go ahead and walk us through the application. Just so you're familiar with it, so it's not intimidating. Uh, it literally shouldn't take more than 10 minutes to fill out. Give me 1 second here while I switch the screens that I'm sharing. And then also just a note, if you have questions, we will be answering them at the end. And all right, here we go. Share screen. Awesome. Do you all see my screen with the application? Thanks. Okay, so a lot of the information in this first part is really what we just went over. You'll find this information also when what I send over in our follow-up and the recap. What we didn't go over today was some of the workshops that we're looking to host. A few of these dates are tentative, but so once you apply, these are some of the workshops we're looking to have to help get you pitch ready. And really essentially the idea here with incubating is to help provide resources. We understand how tough that can be, but knowledge is everything. So I would highly just say soak up everything you can. Uh Even if this isn't for you, the idea is that you walk away, with more information and better than you came. And if it aligns with you, then that's awesome as well. But these are some of the workshops we're looking to have to get you pitch ready. So you're not doing it by yourself. You're not going into it blind. We will kind of give you some guardrails, if you will. Try to say that 5 times. You will not be successful. So just walking through the application, really simple, just your general information. We are looking for your handle. When we ask for social media following, we want the collective number of how many followers you have across these platforms. Um, what type of organization are you? And then we have your categories that you can put here: Black owned, woman owned, disabled, so on and so forth. Your industry. And so we do have a section where you may be culinary, you may be retail. So with culinary, we have some additional questions and information that we would like to get from you. You should have your 9-digit federal ID number, your EIN. And so a lot of these questions, if you filled out an application before for your business, this should be pretty familiar. If you're new to it, we wanted to make sure it was not so painful. So really straight to the point. We really just want to understand who you are, what is your business, what are you selling, how do you prepare these things? And this goes into culinary with the certifications and us understanding what certifications you hold. Also, and correct me, Bernard, but I know a lot of times we also aid in getting some of these certifications as well. Yes, okay. Yep. So if you do not have these certifications, don't let it deter you from applying. Just answer honestly, and then we can, kind of move from there. As we have helped businesses in the past secure some of these certifications. So just general, how long have you been in business? And then we would like you to upload your logo and a business plan or executive summary so we can dive deeper into who you are, what you're doing, what is your plan, how do you see yourself at Boxville, how we can help you grow. And then these are box options, as Bernard talked about earlier. So you can totally be unsure at the moment, but if you have an idea in mind, definitely go ahead and let us know what you're thinking. And we'd love to know how you heard about us or the pitch competition itself. And then this is for those who because we did have some folks apply earlier, so that's for that group of folks. But you're already here, so we thank you. And then we have a couple FAQs at the bottom. I'm going to stop sharing this screen and put up just the screen on our pitch journey, and then we can hop into Q&A. So pitch journey. This is February. Applications are now open. We are now in our virtual pitch informational in real time. And then March through April. April, we'll do semi-finalists will be announced. So once we get all our applications in and we go through the criterias and we get our semi-finalists, we will announce those semi-finalists then. And then during that part is where you'll go through the workshops that I showed you on the application and prep yourself for the pitch. And then in May, tentative May 7th is the date we're looking at. You'll present in front of the judges panel. Thinking maybe about 3 to 5 days later, we'll be announcing the winners. And then in June, so you'll have about early May to mid-June, as a soft launch and prep, and obviously we'll aid and support you. And that's when we'll announce you officially and promote you. And as we promote our market, our kickoff market alongside that, so you'll be a part of a larger celebration. Bernard, did I miss anything? Oh, okay, awesome. So I'll stop talking so much and leave the floor open for Q&A. I'll also just leave this screen up in case it's a QR code. It should take you right to the application if you want to pull that screen up. But right now, I'll open the floor for any questions that anyone may have. Actually, someone did ask a question in chat. I'll address that one. You asked if the businesses listed are still in Boxville. So William is still in Boxville. Uh, the Book Joint and Stovey Inc. Recently just graduated from Boxville. They both did a joint venture and are in a brick and mortar on 69th and Stony called Pen and Paper. So the goal here is that you grow and go, or that you grow in place in a sense. You stay at Boxville, kind of stick your flag at Boxville and grow from there and expand from there. As the work spot, it started in the 10-foot box and grew to a 40. So also an option. Conscious Plates is now on 63rd and Cottage. They're in a brick and mortar. The hot dog box graduated, and they were in Portage Park. They moved into a brick and mortar. Then I think they went into like a shared kind of food hall situation. Let's see, we have some questions in chat. Are the businesses able to operate now as well, or is everyone closed until June? So the idea that is that Boxville is year round. June to June, January to January, if you will. We're looking to create this space that it operates year round. So no, you don't have to wait until it's not just I know why you're answering that question. I'm gonna follow up with you on the back end of this informational. How many finalists will be selected? So semifinalists, you're welcome. Semifinalists, we're looking between, what was it, 15, Bernard? Ish, about 15 or so. No, we were looking for 10 to 12 people to get inside the boxes because we do have a nice amount of space available. But about 15. That's some application I already have, so can I expect a response? Responses will start next week. Responses will start what is this? February, March. So when applications close, which is the 3rd. So that week we'll be responding.
I think let's just say sometime in March.
Yeah, sometime
Because
in
it's going
March.
to take us some time to assess and so forth. Sometime
I
in
have a
March.
date. I have an exact date for that too. Sorry. What are the usual rates for per box? Bernard, you want to take that one? I'm going to pull up my.
So yeah, usually our 10-foot, our micro boxes are $400 a month. And so what that includes is the box itself. This is a micro box, it's a 10 by 8 box. It includes the power to that box, and it includes access to the Bronzeville incubator, which is the building, part of the building next door. So for restrooms, if you want to have meetings there, occasional events, and so forth. All of our box rates include access to the incubator. So 440 for the 10-foot. I believe it's was it 600 or 650 for the 20, AJ?
The 20 was 6, the 40 was 850.
850 is the 40, and then we have our newest boxes, which are the 13-foot culinary boxes, are $1,000 a month.
Will we assist with meeting the application criteria?
Well, let me try to answer that. I don't know that we will assist you with the application. I don't know that we can necessarily assist you with meeting the criteria. I mean, if we may be able to help you if you need help with something specific, but we won't be able to say take you from not having a website to having a website. We're not able to do that at this point, for example. So, but we will certainly help you in working through the application.
I think Chef Prep wanted to say something. You have to unmute yourself. Chef Prep.
Yes, like Bernard was saying, it's not per se help specifically like that, but I just do know that, let's say if you talking about uh business certification, licenses and stuff like that, leveraging the resource of the SBDC would allow you to gain the information and understand the steps that you need to take to meet the requirements. Um, the only thing that I know that they don't have a resource to help you through is the social media following. But I've been able to get a lot of things accomplished through just coming to the incubator and saying, "Hey, I need help." Yeah, and they might have somebody outside resource that they're not providing to me, but they have. I've found help in other ways. Just coming to the incubator and saying, "Hey, do you guys know anybody that can help with a website design? That can help me with marketing? Hey, here's a couple of people in our network." Then with that, I'll do my due diligence or reaching out and deciding if I'm going to utilize that resource.
Thank you, Prep. We have another question here. What are a few disqualifications?
Well, I mean, I don't know that we have any hard disqualifications, but I guess what I would say is you have to be ready to commit to your enterprise. If you're not able to spend a significant amount of time per week for months on end, then you're probably not ready for Boxville. You can't just it's not about just renting a space and then showing up when you can. It's making a commitment to be in that space because that space also depends on the energy that you bring. So if you're not ready to commit to the space, I think for most of us that would be disqualifying. There may be, it also has to be a product that works for our community. And so we'll look at the products. That has not generally been an issue, but if it's something that we feel is just not appropriate for our community, then we may say, look, we're not the right place for you. Perhaps you can look into some other places. If you have some specific questions about what might be disqualifying, I think we can try to answer that, but that's kind of a broad sense of how we think about it.
Awesome. Thank you. I missed 2 questions. Apologies there. Someone said, how much does the current business revenue play a part in the decision-making process? So I would say we want you to be in business for a year. We want to get an understanding of how much money you've made in that year. So we want that to reflect that you've been active in your business and consistent in your business. I don't think we have a specific, and correct me if I'm wrong, Bernard, hard number for that. But knowing that you've been in business for a year and you've been active in your business is going to be, I think, what we're really looking for. And that you've been consistent. Are there, oh, sorry.
I was just going to add that.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to add, I think that the general notion is that Boxville is probably not the place for you if you are just starting with a concept. If you say, look, I have an idea for a business, but I haven't tried it, I haven't been out there, Boxville is probably not the right place for that. And you probably won't be successful if you haven't, really invested some time previously in that. So that's why we are really looking at past business experience with that concept.
Awesome. I got a couple more here. Thank you, Bernard. Someone, Kenwood Info, I'm not sure of your name. You said, if I'm not applying because I still utilize SBDC. I'm not sure if you're saying you're not applying because you utilize SBDC or you're not, you're already a member of SBDC. If you want to clarify in chat, I'm not sure.
I think the person is saying, if I'm not applying to step up
Can
their
they still
startup,
utilize?
can I still utilize? And the
Oh,
question, then the answer is yes, as long as you have a for-profit business that is not cannabis-based, then yes, you can certainly sign up to become a client and we can work with you.
awesome. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, awesome. And then I have a couple more questions. Windy City, I'm gonna answer yours right after this one. We were asked to elaborate more on the step-by-step rotation part. So I can speak to it, and then I know William, if you want to speak to it as well. So the step-by-step is an opportunity. So maybe you're not ready to be in a box full time. This gives you the opportunity, maybe another entry into Boxville, with less of I don't want to say responsibility because it's all you got to be it's all part of that process, but you would operate 3 days out of the week. And you would share that space. So if you're in culinary, you would be sharing a space with other culinary businesses. If you're in retail, which I'll let William speak to how he will be operating that as he's over the retail space, how that works. But for culinary, it would just be a space that you utilize with other businesses. So the idea obviously is housekeeping rules, and we can get into that later, but that's how that works for culinary. William, would you like to speak to retail? Maybe not.
Yes, can you guys hear me?
Oh, there you go. Boom.
Yeah, so we do have an element in Boxville called Box Shop, which allows retail brands to showcase their brand at a consignment rate. So like we'll treat your brand like a boutique. You'll show us your collection, your SKU, and then we will accommodate your items if it fits the aesthetic of the store, and then you'll be able to house your items in the space. And the cool thing about that is that we will still treat you as a Boxville member. So like you'll be associated with the markets, you will be in the loop with all of the different elements that you have, but it's just at a smaller scale. And so that may be something that could be of interest to you. And if you are, we will definitely follow up with more detail if that's something that is more suitable for what you're doing.
Awesome. Yep. Thank you. And to just William's point, if you are part of the step-by-step program, we still would like for you to maybe do a pop-up at Boxville, or you're a member, so you're a part of the community still. So we want you to join in on our huddles, our bi-weekly huddles that we do for members, where we bring out guests in certain professional industries to help build your business and create sustainability. We love you to engage just the same with that as well. William, I have a question in here. Someone says, well, before I answer this question, Windy City said, are there any certain types of boxes that aren't allowed? So because we don't have running water, so if you're a hairstylist, that wouldn't be a good fit for Boxville because you would need to wash the hair and rinse the hair out, I hope. Um, Cannabis. We tend not to lean into any type of massage therapy. I feel like I'm missing two. Bernard, can you help me out? Or maybe I'm not missing two.
Yeah, I think it's easier to respond to specific questions, but the underlying intent is to bring in enterprises, partners that serve the neighborhood with a set of things that move the neighborhood forward. And that's a broad range, but that's the intent.
So if you have any specifics, definitely feel free to either email us and we can maybe help answer you in that way. William, someone wants to know, what is the commission percentage? 30/70, 40/60, etc.
The commission starts at 70/30. 30% goes to Boxville and 70% goes to you. There is a fee associated with housing your items in the store per month. This will cover your pop-up fees because we expect you to be associated with our pop-ups. We want to treat you like a brand. We want to fulfill you with the grand opening. So there is a fee associated per month when you're branded in the store as well.
Kind of trickled out at the end there, but I think we got the overall gist of what you were saying. I have another question. Oh, it's okay. I think you were saying helping with pop-ups and markets. Was that correct, William?
Yes.
Okay, cool. This may be a Prep and Bernard question. How does the culinary part work without running water?
I love to answer that because I've had to I've had to operate with that. There we do have access to a 3-compartment sink that we can wash our dishes, and then so I kind of like have a little tub where I can put some of my bigger dirty dishes, and I'll wait to like wash a lot of things at one time, and then I have the option to have like a little bucket for you. There's enough space in most of our boxes to bring in our own mobile 3-compartment sink, so you have that capability as well if you don't want to have to walk outside of the unit. So it's a blank canvas. You are more than encouraged to bring in whatever you feel that will make your service as easy as a day for you. So those are the two options that we have. But nonetheless, I've been able to do food and pop up and still having a food sanitation manager certificate, still functioning under proper sanitation codes.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
I would add one more thing too, and Bernard, you can add or just confirm that this is so. In the past, there have been other culinary Boxville partners that worked out of a shared kitchen, because if you're preparing food, you should be cooking in a shared kitchen. And some of those partners then brought the food to the box for the day and then warmed some things, but the preparation of everything essentially was done in the shared kitchen.
That is correct.
Thank you.
I don't see any more questions in Q&A or in chat. If you have any more okay, someone raised their hand.
That's just me because I know we about to end. But I just want to speak to this one big thing that I know that I assume might be on people's mind. As somebody who was 1 foot into my own entrepreneurial spirit and 1 foot in still holding down a regular or a standard typical 9 to 5, I understand the pressure it is to go fully into something that is your passion, that is your dream. And if anybody who is listening has yet to make that 100% jump, now is the right time for it, especially when you have some incentives and you're walking into a community. And when I tell you, there's been bright days and there's been tough days, but after making the decision to do just this, I feel better mentally, feel better emotionally, and I'm committed to it. And I've seen the success that I can do. Um, just to put it into pictures, what I was doing when I was 1 foot in and 1 foot out, I did. I'm not going to disclose the number, but let's just say I made some money that year, and then the year that I came to Boxville and I was doing it 100%, what I generated in revenue was a 300% increase. So don't doubt yourself. Don't don't put too many. Don't put more gap in between you and becoming a Boxville owner, becoming the entrepreneur that you are. And you are an entrepreneur because you are here listening to this information. You want this, so just follow through the steps, and you won't ever regret it.
Thank you, Prep. I'm going to now use you as my motivational speaker every single time. That was great. So this brings us to the end of our informational. Thank you, Sinatra's. Let me write that down. Uh, I want to thank everyone for staying on, for listening. If you have any questions that maybe come up after this, you should have received an email from me with the link to get into this informational. Feel free to email myself or on the application. I believe we have the SBDC's email as well. If it's more so business related and you need help and you want to sign up and get that guidance and advising from Rebecca, definitely feel free to do that if that's going to help you fill the application out and feel confident. We want you all to be confident in yourselves and in your business. I won't hold you too long. I do know it's Wednesday and it's 8 o'clock, so I'm sure you guys are ready to get to your family or dinner or just relax. That is all I have. The QR code is here, but you will get an email from me. It'll include a link for this video, as well as all the information mentioned, as well as the link to apply. Please share if you know another entrepreneur or small business that could benefit from Boxville. Please share out the information. And we're looking to really build a strong community of entrepreneurs that's looking to take their businesses to the next level. Bernard, did you have anything?
Just thank you and good night.
All right. Sweet and simple. Thank you and good night. You all have a good one. Thank you.
Thank you.